welcome to AfterBuzz Anime Reviews. We're talking Fruits Basket episodes 17 through 20. Also, happy Easter! And we've had so much loving on these episodes, we're going to share that with you. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hello and welcome to AfterBuzz Anime Reviews. We're talking Fruits Basket episodes 17 through 20. And happy Easter! It's Easter Sunday.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. Yes, I love it. I love it. My name is Carrie Lane and I'm joined by my awesome co-host.
Hey everyone, Veronica Valencia here. I'm so excited to be here for Fruits Basket.
Yes, me too. And then Jamie and Oliver were not able to make it, but wish you happy Easter as well, or whatever holiday you're celebrating this weekend. So let's get into, what do you think of these episodes? Because we haven't chat about it in like a hot minute.
Yeah, we haven't been here for a while. So I kind of want to do like an overall thought for each of these episodes, if that's okay.
Sure.
Because for me, this batch of episodes was very hit or miss. And
Yes.
it depends on what your perception is. It depends on what you're rooting for. The first...
Very little Kyo.
Very obviously, so you know I may not be the happiest camper, but obviously the first
sourpuss.
Hey! I love the puns. So episode 17, for me this was a good episode. It's always a good episode when we get to meet more members of the Zodiac. So overall, I enjoyed that. The 18th episode I felt was a lot of filler. And
I wrote down, I'm all filler, question mark?
Filler, yeah. It felt like a lot of filler.
Yes.
And for me personally, this was a particular storyline that I just never really cared for. It's not something I find as super entertaining, so this one was kind of a miss for me, and we'll go into that more. The 19th episode, this one again can feel a little fillery. However, this one I personally really enjoyed because I am a fan of Kyo, and so any moments I get where Kyo shows vulnerability and kind of shows moments between him and Toru, I'm all about. So again, perception, what you're rooting for. So this one was good for me. And then the last episode, I love the idea. I think the execution was slightly off.
Yes, I agree. Also, we do have a live chat, so welcome everybody in the live chat. If you're watching it later, welcome as well. Please leave comments what you thought about these episodes. Yes, let's get into these. So episodes, and I'm pretty much same page with you, by the way. Episode 17, It's Because I've Been Loved That I've Become Stronger. We get, this one definitely had more depth. We finally meet the tiger, so we know that Akito is not a tiger. Because we weren't sure. That was a theory, and we know he's also not the snake. So that's kind of starting to limit our options. But still, I was like 13. I was having trouble remembering all of them when I was like, But...
I was just, I wanted to say something, and I don't know if this is too spoilery. So word of caution, I apologize if this comes across very spoilery. It's very... In the original series, it's very well known that it's not a complete series, so there are chances we may not meet every single member of the Zodiac, which kind of leaves it more of a mystery of like, ooh, who can Akito be? Because we might not ever meet others. Although that's something they're definitely addressing in the reboot, which is awesome.
Wow. Good to know. Thank you. Oh yeah, also let us know your thoughts on the reboot, because we're also watching that as well, because like we just love Fruits Basket. Are you liking watching them simultaneously, that they're different enough?
I'm really loving watching them simultaneously. I think at first they feel very reminiscent of each other, just because again it's the beginning, they're establishing everything. There will be moments later on that feel very different. Again, the thing that comes across very different right away is just their comedic styles. This one, the reboot, is a little bit more grounded.
These 4 episodes are oddball for sure.
Yes, the older episodes are definitely more wacky, and the animation being older helps with that, because they definitely, maybe it's a budget thing, maybe it's for the sake of comedy where things are just very clunky looking. So, and that would explain it.
So with the beginning of episode 17, we had Yuki and Toru in the rain, and that's when we meet Kisa, the tiger. She was so cute.
They are all so cute when they're in their Zodiac forms. Yeah.
I like the simplicity of the original of how they look as the animals. I don't think the reboot has them as cutesy because they're more detailed. Doesn't mean they're not cool to look at, but I think the simplicity of the old one makes them cuter.
I like that you bring that up because that's something that I saw as well, and I agree with that. The simplicity of them in the original version is what makes them kind of cuter and more comical to look at, whereas, the newer animation is definitely much higher quality.
Though them as people, they are cute. You're like, oh, hey, boys and girls. Hello, everybody. You're like, so they mentioned that Kisa stopped talking. Is it kind of an issue? And then we learn being picked on. So go anime, bringing up real life issues and, have bullied at school and how that could make you, or school anywhere, and make you kind of fold in on yourself and not want to express yourself. So it's like, all the feels.
What I found so fascinating about this episode, and especially rewatching it, was that every single Zodiac member suffers from the same curse, but they all have different struggles with it, if that makes sense.
Yes.
For example, last week we saw, on last week's batch of episodes, we saw Momiji's backstory and how his major struggle with the Zodiac was with his mom and how he wasn't accepted by his mother. And so that was very, very touching. Oh my gosh, that made me cry. But he suffered with that, not necessarily with being picked on, as he kind of stated in this episode, whereas Kisa's main struggle is she has more or less a very supportive mother who's trying her best, but just doesn't necessarily know how to go about raising someone with this curse. But it's her struggles at school that she's dealing with.
And plenty of people, like, as a kid or adult, sometimes it's hard to admit that when something bad is happening to you, and then the longer you go, the worse it gets, which is what's happens for Kisa, and you're just like, oh, it's okay. Oh, dude, and when she bites Toru, so cute. She's like, Toru's like, it's fine. It doesn't hurt. It's okay.
It's funny because it's so wacky. It's like a little chomp, like a little, and it's like, oh, that doesn't hurt. But clearly Toru's like, this just sucks. Like, get it off me.
And then Toru totally lays on that understanding because she gets it. She understands everybody. And then when she's talking with the mom and like, maybe, and it's nice because she never means it rude or like, oh, you don't know. She just kind of has that, well, maybe this is what it is. She's like the eternal optimist, and then I do like that the mom has that moment of, oh, maybe that is why she's upset. And then she gets to live with them in the family of these crazy extended relatives, which is like, sure. And I like how everyone kind of goes, she's living with us? All right, cool. This house seems to have extended its amount of how many people it can hold. I'm like, wait, how many rooms are in this house? And it's like fun random surprises.
Yeah. And what I love about this particular encounter with Toru is that we obviously know, as you said, Carrie, she is a huge optimist, and so she's very understanding of the members of the Soma family who are cursed. But I think it's also just a good way of kind of showing how to accept someone regardless if they were cursed or not, just kind of accept someone and understand what they're going through.
Empathy. She has tons of empathy.
Yes.
Able to understand everybody, or at least think in their thought process. We got Allie in the chat, says episode 17 almost made me cry. That one definitely had some good feels, and like watching, I think the bullying could resonate with a lot of people. Kuro Tsukurugi says, well, it is a big house. This is true. It is a very big house. So then we get, the hugging. When she hugs her, I said, yeah, it just needs a little TLC. Like, all the Soma people, and people in general, do need something like, it's okay, you are loved, and like a hug. Because Toru does that with Momiji, the last one too, of like, even though he turns into a bunny, she's still like, let me hug you.
I love Momiji as a bunny. I'm just saying.
Yes, oh, he's so
he's
cute.
so cute as a bunny.
He just like goes into the hug too. He's like, thank you.
And this is something that I'm curious to get your opinion on. Obviously, the main focus is on Toru, and in that same scene, Kisa's mother is there. Yeah. And obviously, they're not really developing Kisa's mother a whole lot. But something that I'm happy that maybe the reason they're not doing that is because I don't think I would want to get into a sticky situation where maybe Kisa's mother feels like Toru's kind of replacing her in Kisa's heart.
They don't really go that route, but it's nice too, the moment where she calls Toru to check on her, and then they find out about that, and they're like, oh no, she does care and everything. But maybe sometimes anybody, even if you're trying your best, sometimes having another example or another viewpoint can show you like, oh, maybe I should do it. Like, I want the mom to hug her. It's like, hug your little baby. And then I do like everybody on the roof, like, or the classroom having the Momiji, Haru, Toru, and Yuki, like, what is our game plan? I do like when they have their little group
huddle
sessions. Yes, of like, guys, what are we going to do? Okay, this is our plan. And then when we figure out why, and it's just a Mean Girls, I actually kind of wanted someone almost to go to the classroom and be like, with the older classmates to be like, hey, knock it off, like, talk to them. But in a way, Kisa has to fight her own battles, if you will. But I don't know, I almost wanted Yuki to go there and be like, you little girl, stop it.
It's a really sad kind of other perspective because sometimes, you know, in media where we see kids who are being bullied, they often get that talk of, you know, stand up for yourself. You know, they want to pick on you because you allow them to, or maybe they're insecure or something like that. And the very sad other point of view here is that Kisa does stand up for herself, but it doesn't do anything for her. It still backfires on her because now that they're like, oh, she'll stand up for herself, well, we'll just like whisper and gossip about her in private.
Yeah. It's one of those, even your best efforts can make it
it's
not
very,
work.
very unfortunate.
Oh, well, leave this as a comment down below. Luna's friend Gabby says, I have a question. Who's your favorite Soma family member? I think I can guess.
I think it's very
yours.
obvious. I think mine is very obvious.
Yes. Starcloak mentions Kisa's parallel with Yuki. True, but I'd also say she's similar to Toru because Toru had the game. They didn't tease her outright, but you know, not including her. So she, Unagiri, yes. So
and plus, I think Yuki's problem was not so much that
he's abused.
He was abused and he was kept from children growing up from Aikido. So I think like there's kind of the difference there is that I don't think he necessarily ever personally had struggles fitting in. It was that he was kept from society, whereas Kisa is very much struggling to fit in.
Yeah. Oh, no, absolutely. And then I do like, though, that when Yuki mentions how being weak is not a bad thing, and awesome, it's ambition can result from our weaknesses. And I thought that was kind of a nice way to look at it. Of like, even there's your not Monday yet, your motivation Monday of or whatever day it's like even it's okay if you're weak. That's where you can maybe find the push to do more or do something different or make that change because it's the, you know, everything when it stays the same, you won't grow. Kind of, I like that. And then also this one. I'm curious on all your thoughts. How Yuki points out, sometimes you need someone to like you first before you like yourself. And I'm like, that's almost tricky because that kind of ignores self-love. And then that also relies your worth is based on someone else. But it is kind of true that sometimes someone saying something nice about you kind of sparks
that motivation
something for you.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's exactly what you were saying, Carrie. It's very tough in that, you know, we as people want to be able to say, you know what, I don't need anyone else telling me how I should feel about myself. I can love myself. I don't need any of this negativity. And so like it's a very powerful thing if we're able to do that, but sometimes as people we can't. We're human. We can't help but feel, a little reassurance, a little, you know, attention from someone else does boost your what's what I'm looking
confidence?
For? It does boost your confidence in a sense. Even though, you know, you could say like, oh, that was a very nice comment, thank you, even though I didn't need it. And some people can think, wow, I really needed that today. That's great. So it's tough. Sometimes it's maybe nice to have a combination of both.
I agree with that because, I mean, there's those days where even if you're feeling kind of good about yourself, but maybe, like, something knocks you down, but then someone's like, oh, cute, cool backpack, cute shirt, whatever. And then you're just kind of like, oh, cool, thanks. And it kind of, like, reignites that spark. So maybe it shouldn't start the spark, but it could help fan the flame, as it were. Yes, I like that. And then we get Yuki deciding he wants to be student body president because he doesn't want to and do something different, which, yay. Episode 18, the strongest tag. I was like, wait, strongest tag, the curse, electric, my handwriting. Wave, brother and sister, there we go. This one I felt was filler, but we were talking about wanting kind of more backstory on Hanajima, so yay, because this isn't really backstory on her, but it is a little bit more about her and her day-to-day life. But yes, I did write filler, question mark.
It felt very, yes, I agree. It felt very fillery. And again, perception, if you really did want to know more so about Hana and her day-to-day activities, this was perfect. It didn't dive into a whole lot of details, but it was kind of nice to see her home life. And, oh, you know, she has siblings who are maybe just as weird as her. So that was fun. But the main storyline of what it was getting through with, like, the Prince Yuki fan club,
they're better on the sideline. I don't need them as main story.
Yeah, I've kind of just been like, oh, they're whatever, you know. I don't necessarily hate them or love them. They're just kind of funny because, as I had mentioned in earlier episodes, they're there, I feel, for comedic relief, not necessarily to be malicious towards Toru. Yeah. But I feel like this episode kind of dived into, like, that malicious intent with them of, like, oh, we need to keep her away from him. And I was like, let's keep it light and fluffy, guys.
But sad thing, that's how some people really are.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah.
Then I do like how they're being watched, and somehow they have audio across the way with the zoom in lens on their camera. I'm like, audio question mark? Like, how do you get... All right, whatever. Though the thing I did love in this episode is the use of kind of multimedia in terms of it's them regular drawn and then like real image as the train station background. Or it's in this one and some other ones where the episode, like, palette cleanser click thing, and they get stuck in it, or it interacts with them. I feel the show is getting even more and more meta and, like, making fun of itself and just anime in general. So that I did appreciate. That was something to pull out of these episodes to enjoy. And then... I know you're not a huge Team Yuki, Veronica, but all that Yuki merch in their classroom when they're doing their thing was so funny because every shot it was like a different Yuki item. I was like, all right, that's kind of mad props. I don't know if you guys noticed when you're watching, but every time they cut to that shot, it was like it was a cup, it was a keychain, it was a
I mean,
hat.
hey, good on them. I mean,
So
first
funny.
of all, how much are you getting in allowance?
Yeah.
Second of all, I mean, yeah, mad props to them for having that much. It's
like, oh man,
it's kind of creepy, but I would be a part of a different fan club.
Yeah. Yes. Then they get to her house and everything, which I did like her house. Now, the thing with this, another thing I think to pull out of this episode is how Megumi points out, when they're talking, Hanajima, when they're talking about Toru and everything, of how you need to have a considerate heart. And I do think that some people can relate to that. I mean, I know I've had it sometimes where, like, you're really good friends with somebody, but maybe they're hanging out with somebody else, and you're almost a little bit jealous, but, you know, it's not that you can hang out with them all the time, but it's that moment of, like, but wait, am I forgotten? And I kind of like that they address that, because that's something that we can experience. Mm-hmm. But you need to consider it heart and let them hang out with other people too.
No, I love the fact that they brought that up. It was done in a very funny and comical way where it's like, okay, you're not going to root for the Prince Yuki fan club because they're a little too intense. Yes. But it does make sense in that, you know, here's a group of people that kind of thought, you know, they could admire Yuki from afar and could kind of hold on to their own emotions and their own intentions of just kind of living in this fantasy world of like, oh, I can admire him from afar and that'll be okay. But as soon as he starts hanging out with Toru, that's kind of zapped and they feel like maybe whatever weird fantasy they had in their head would just never come true now.
Yeah. Everybody's talking, a couple people in the chat said, Card 003, the Hanajima episode was hilarious for me. The brother trying to put a curse on them was the best. Starcloak says, love the brother. Okay, I think the brother, I think his name was Megumi, which is funny because I'm used to that being more of a girl's name. But sure, we've had other names in these shows turned around.
That's like Nagisa for me. Nagisa. Sometimes it's a female name. Sometimes it's used as a male name.
Yeah, because I've known women Megumis, so like in real life, not just like watch a show, so then you're like, oh sure. But I did like the brother a lot. I thought he was very funny. I do like that he's just as weird as his sister, and but you know, is still like they both have really good hearts, even though you'd think they'd be like weird gothic dark people, but it's like no, they're just
unique. Quirky. Yes, they're just unique and quirky. They are.
And then when Toru and Uo show up, and then Hanajima's just like, you came to hang out with me? You're just like, oh,
of course we would hang out.
She's like, yeah, of course I want to. Yeah, exactly. So you're just like, that's so cute. So, and then the big, like, kicker at the end, the more you know, that friendships have difficulties, but it's worth it. So you're just like, aw. So, yes. Filler, but at least had some good
It
parts.
had good
It
things
was
to take
no
away from.
Excalibur filler.
Oh boy. I'm kind of glad
Like,
we are done with those.
Yes. Episode 19, the sorts of cheer can be affected by colds too. Filler, but warm,
Again,
fuzzy, cute.
yeah. Filler,
So-
but depending on what you're going for, it could be great.
Yes. Fillers, as long as there's something that you can pull out of it, because even that one episode back with Fort Wicks Caliber, and I'm like, what was that? Soul Eater. I'm like totally blanking on the name for a second there. When we meet the guy who would have been like a prince in any other anime, like that was funny because I agree, I appreciated that character, and then you're just like, all right, now we can move on. Make it a 15-minute episode, not a 20.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, so episode 19 of Fruits Basket. So at the beginning, I thought it was really weird that we kind of had a refresher. It was like refresher, and why are we doing a refresher right now? Like that was kind of the waste of time as well. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
We're 19 episodes in. If we
I think
need
we
a
got
refresher,
it.
we am. And kind of like, what is the source of your well-being? It's pretty much, it's given to her by everyone. Let's get some syrup with that sugar. It's like, oh man. And the makeup test, which was kind of funny and cute, and I do like how Hanajima like purposefully technically did well.
So we know.
Did that
if
way?
Do we know? I don't know.
I think she did it on purpose.
Oh yeah.
That she's like, yeah, if I miss a couple, then I take the other one. It's easier, which
Mm-hmm.
that's cool. I don't think we had those at my school. I was like, what is this? So yeah, poor Toru gets a cold and a fever and everything, and I
The one
being
thing
babied, I guess. Yes.
The one thing I did like about this episode is that, you know, it has been brought up a few times in previous episodes, and as an audience, you might almost become frustrated with this topic because you just want to, you know, like shake Toru and be like, take time for yourself. It's okay. You don't need to be consistently selfless. Like, we know your goals. We know that you want to do this, but, you know, you're human and you have a different rate of, you know, getting to where you need to be than other people. So it's like, take time for yourself and don't put so much pressure on yourself. And I like the fact that that was reiterated by pretty much everyone
Yes.
this episode.
They're like, it's all right. Take a break. You're fine. It's like not the end of the world. Calm down. But I do like how everyone wants help. It's the end of the world. Oh no, she's sick. What do we do? Call the fire brigade. And then Freon's like, whoa, everybody, calm down. But it shows you how important she is to everyone, most of the family. So that was pretty funny. And everybody wants to visit and everything, but then everybody helps out because we have Momiji doing the cleaning a little bit, and somebody special, Veronica, you want to talk about Kyo doing the leek
I'm
cooking?
so proud of him. I am so proud of him because, again, you know, one of the reasons why this episode I enjoy so much is because Kyo came into this series with a very harsh personality. He was very narrow-minded, only ever wanted to fight Yuki and beat Yuki. Since meeting Toru, obviously, his course has taken, you know, his path has taken a different course. And I love the fact that, you know, he's trying to be more considerate. And obviously, like, you can tell that he's starting to probably have feelings towards Toru. She might be a little naive and blindsided and not see
all
it.
of it, yes.
But he clearly does. And I love the fact that he is he's being selfless in this moment because he is taking something that he personally cannot stand, putting it aside, realizing that, hey, I hate leaks. I don't want to be anywhere near leaks, but if this is what's going to help Toru, I need to suck it up and do it because she's so helpful to me. I want to be helpful to her.
I like the gas mask essentially and the goggles and
like,
everything.
It's so bad.
It's like, oh yes. I'm like, I like leeks are essentially green onions, and I'm like, no, I like those. I don't think I'd want just a porridge of leeks though. I'd want maybe something else in there to give a little more oomph, maybe garlic or something. Now we're talking about food. Anime food
always looks so.
I was like, I would try the leek porridge, please. Yeah. I appreciate how it shows growth for him of wanting to do something, makes him become less selfish because he's a little like that. He has blinders on, I'm like, I'm not gonna do it, and you're just like, whoa, dude, take a breath. It's okay.
Yeah.
So it's like, but I do like the gag of how he destroyed the leek garden, and Yuki's like, who did this? And Shiguri's sitting there like, isn't it obvious?
I found it so funny, but at the same time, I was sitting there and I was like, I don't think Yuki can genuinely be upset about this because did he destroy the leek garden? Yes, technically. But his motivations for doing it were something that I'm sure Yuki would have done as well. So I'm like,
Yes.
Yuki, you can't really be mad at him for this.
No, he does calm down when he finds out the purpose of it and be like, oh, you actually cooked him? Okay, fine. Like, but yes, that was where the zany, crazy, over the topness of the show was actually kind of funny because then it's a short button. I think it's when they extend some of the craziness that we as viewers go,
This is going just dragging a little bit. Yeah.
keep going. And then Kyo listening to her and trying to be nice because then he's like, I don't really care. All right, fine, just tell me. And then she goes, I need to talk to somebody. I did love that.
I think that's a very genuine moment for Kyo, is because clearly in the beginning, Kyo is like forcefully trying to be sweet, but then when he lets his guard down, he's just like, hey, tell me what's up, even though it kind of comes across as very almost rude in the tone of his voice and rough. Yeah. It's still more genuine because that's when he's just being very much like, okay, let me know. This is my personality, but let me know what's going on, instead of kind of like this fake nice.
Yeah, I think the thing is he just needs more experience on how to communicate with people, and girls probably too. Like, not just because he did his training. I mean, that's kind of a trope in anime of like talking to the opposite sex and like how to do that. But I think he's learning, and I do like that Toru isn't. That's where she's not an idiot, where she goes, oh, this is him trying to communicate, or this is him trying to be nice, and you go, okay. But actually, speaking of her naivete, I wanted to call back to the other episode when Haru points out his hair is naturally white and black.
Oh my god.
That was so funny and like super subtle.
I love it.
And I like the humor of it because if you're a little kid or don't get it yet, you'd be like Toru and like, I don't get it. But then Yuki and Kyo are just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you really did that. You really did. Oh, okay.
Also, very great Kyo moment of him sticking up for Toru.
Yeah, he's like, oh yes, man, he gets she gets a Kabe done with him too. Yes, I did love that moment. He's like, scram to the guys. That was great. There we go. We need to gush about that as well. I did love that one. I was like, yes, get it. And how he's kind of like, you need to watch out for yourself, and she's just like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah, no, she does. She's very. She could be too in her head that not notice her surroundings. So, safety tip, yes. And then at the very end, we get, everybody kind of gets, Hari and, Shigure. Yes, the needle joke. That was also, I'm like, okay then. Oh. Yes, we get Hari and Shigure making all their yaoi jokes, but I'm for it. Him and Ayame, I'm totally for their yaoi jokes. They're very fun.
I love them.
Yes.
And I would ship it all.
Yes. And I like that nobody else is either getting the needle joke or they are, knock it off, please. That's inappropriate. Yeah. But we like it. Let us know what you think. So we get episode 20, Ayame's Secret Life, which we totally knew it was an adult, essentially, clothing store. I thought more like Leg Avenue or, where it's like adult sexy costumes, not quite custom made. But I thought that was so obvious that Yuki not getting it. I'm like, dude.
He just doesn't care.
True. He's like, I'm not going to even think about it. Okay, also, this is where the innkeeper thing, I'm like,
yeah, that was.
I could have done without that. That was weird.
I could have definitely done without her. And this episode, as I had previously mentioned, I love the intent. I love the fact that it's a moment where Yuki, because we know that Yuki pretty much dislikes most, I don't want to say most people, but he has a harsh relationship with specific people in the Soma family. And I'm very happy that this was a moment where he took a step back and said, you want to know what? I have this burned relationship with my brother, but I want to take more of an initiative to see what he's like and see if we can like come to meet middle ground.
Yeah, both guys finally are like taking, which we get that backstory that Ayame, I didn't quite catch, or what did you think of it? Didn't seem like he more just neglected him and didn't care about him. So that was the nothingness. And then they'll like pull the arm away and just leave. So it was more the, I guess, is it apathetic? Like you feel nothing and that's almost worse. Because technically when you hate someone, that's still energy.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's definitely something that stuck with him, especially because it was Yuki's youth that he had a lot of, health issues growing up, and that he was being abused and kind of taken out of society because they were fearful of what would happen. And obviously that's kind of a time when you need someone there, when you need support. And so that obviously caused a rift between them, and it's something that we can clearly say that Ayame regrets.
Yes.
And I love the idea. I think it was just it could have been executed better because they tried a little too hard to bring in the comedic moments with the innkeeper.
Oh, yeah, and Ayame needs to calm down. Like, that's what it was. I totally had a Black Star moment when he's doing that memory with the shop clerk, and he speaks normally finally. I'm like, oh, yes, here he's talking like a normal human being, not going, meh, meh,
like
meh, 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 meh. And you're
not overly animated, yeah.
Yes. It's like, take the microphone away. You're fine. Just talking in normal volume. I do like Starcloak said the ships are sailing. Yes. So the shop visit, which was fun, and so we meet the Mine Kurame. I like the shop girl. I thought she was very funny. Which I almost wonder if it was a shop boy for a second, but they said she, but then based on the store, I was kind of almost wondering if they do that kind of a switch on us. Be like, just kidding.
I wouldn't have been surprised if that was the case, but I'm very happy that she was in this episode, actually, because at first when she's introduced, you maybe think that she's going to kind of be pointless, and it's like, oh, why are you here? But I like the fact that she was brought in to kind of be that guiding voice for Toru of, like, they need their moment, give them their time, because they need to work things out.
But let's change anyways as well, too. Yeah, no, I love that. I was so glad that she is smarter than she appeared, and, like, yeah, that was kind of a distraction. Let's just give them their moments, and we can chit chat and show the outfit. And then the arguments show understanding. And I guess if only because if you didn't care, you ignore them and the nothingness. So I guess I agree. Do you agree?
Again, one of those balancing acts kind of things.
Yes. Man, Toru in her lolly cute yellow outfit. Oh, and I know you're not Team Yuki, but
I was gonna say,
him going up and down her was so cute, though. Giving her the eye.
Again, perception. If you're for Team Yuki, this would be a very strong episode for you.
It was super cute.
Yeah.
And I do like that the brothers make a teeny tiny bit of progress in their love for each other. And with more Yuki and them Toru together, I wrote aw, because they were having more of their things. But I'm not fully Team Yuki, but I wanted more Kyo. Like, these felt very Kyo abs. Like, I've noticed, but then they say that in the episode. And Kevin's like, yeah, there hasn't been a lot. So I was like, okay, well, at least you said that.
At least they are aware.
Yes. Also, I do like this kind of quote from it, that every person has a secret garden or two or three, which I thought that was a funny metaphor that, yeah, sure, there's plenty of things going on in people's lives that you have no idea about. So I appreciated that. And also, that how an outfit can change somebody's perspective. Haha, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm like, but that's true too, because I mean, come on, it's the she's all that, like you went from nerdy to pretty just because you changed your clothes. So, not that nerdy can't be pretty.
She had quite the makeover, though.
Yes. So, I mean, I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, and even for yourself, like sometimes getting that new outfit, that new haircut can make you feel different. So I thought it was just cute and funny that they mentioned that as well. Yes. Boundless Book Out says still Team Kyo.
Yes!
Yay.
That's what I'm talking about. Awesome. Boundless Book Out. Heck yeah, Team Kyo all the way.
And then Carter003, yeah, Ayame and UK arguing like brothers, I agree, is much better than the complete absence of each other's life. Yeah, I think it's one of those, same thing like on the previous episodes when Kyo and Yuki weren't arguing. Toru was like, whoa, what's going on? And it's kind of weird that they're not fighting, because then it is the don't care. So,
True. Both Kyo and Yuki are very slow progressing to better themselves.
Yes. But, you know, there are some people that really is those tiny, tiny chips away to make a difference. So that's that on those episodes. So we'll hold on to, I guess, sort of my predictions, because I'm like, I watched it so long ago that I don't remember a lot, and then you can chime in as well, Veronica. All right, so we'll do our special segment, which is our word of the day, which they started off at the beginning because we had the rain, so it was ame.
Ame.
So A-M-E for the romaji of that. So if you're writing out in the English letters. Though when I was looking up, there's different ways to say raining, kind of like rain, like in general, versus raining and pour. So in general, I think that's the word for rain, ame, which I thought was cute.
Ame.
Yay. And then our news announcement-y segment, we have some really cool stuff that has come out from Viz, so go to viz.com for more information. New Blu-ray for Boruto The Next Generations is out. This has episodes 1 through 13, all kinds of fun special features, so go check that out. Then this one is one of my favorites. I love all the Junji Ito books, and I love that it's the hardcover, which is really fun, and they're just gorgeously ugly and disturbing, which is what I love about them. So just a bunch of short stories in there if you're a horror fan or Junji Ito. New one is Smashed. And by the way, these are all out available if you want to look them up. We got new volume of One Punch Man. Yes. One Punch Man, the volume 16. So I do like that the nice fatty volumes instead of like really getting your money's worth out of it and not just like little tiny ones. I know somebody's excited about this one.
I am. It's my boy. It's Unye.
So we got Tokyo Ghoul volume number 10 is out. As well as, so this series I started at the beginning, but I'm not up to here. Golden Kamui. Have you heard about this one?
I have
yet?
not even heard of it, actually.
This volume 9 is out. So this one's kind of like, I'm like, let's see, to give plot away. But pretty much it's like, I thought it was more northern, I only read the first one, it's a little bit, northern like Hokkaido and wartime, like back in the day. And this is not the main character. Oh, there we go. That's guy. And so they also deal with like natives to Japan, like living in the wilderness, kind of like more Inuit style, which I thought was really cool too. And these gorgeous beauties, we have Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind. There's a picture book. So this one right here, I'll do for the big screen so you can see. So this one is the entire like movie, but as like a picture book. So you can read the book. So, you know, like if you teaching your kids how to read and everything, it's gorgeous anime, and then you can read it. And this one's a nice, I also like the nice hardcover as well. Nice for collectors. And then this one as well for all the Ghibli fans out there. And Hayao Miyazaki, this is like a, this is an art book, so this kind of breaks down, where's a good page. So kind of storyboard info and everything like that. So go check those out on viz.com. Those are all available now. What are some of your mangas you're reading and such? Leave those comments as well. And somebody also before we get to that, somebody's watching a new anime and finished.
I did.
Why don't you give us a little sample of what you watched?
I did. So obviously here at the AfterBuzz Anime Show, we love to take shows and break them down episode by episode every week. But in the meantime, we are also still watching, you know, some anime on the side. I recently just watched an anime called Hitorijima My Hero. And because I've been on a bit of a boys love kick. I recently watched the English dub of Love Stage, if any of you have been watching any of that. This series, everyone, is absolutely amazing, Carrie. It's because, as I was mentioning to Carrie, and we saw a little bit of yaoi jokes in these batch of episodes of Fruits Basket, sometimes yaoi specifically kind of means like the sexy fun times of anime, whereas Shonen Ai is more the emotional romance point of view. And sometimes in yaoi, there are tropes that kind of fall under kind of predatory, which are not fun and can make you feel very uncomfortable. But this was none of that. It was a beautiful story of two sets of men who are with each other, not like with each other, like two separate couples. But it's beautiful because they're trying to figure out their relationship and their emotions and, you know, trying to figure out how they can make it work as if it was any other, like, coming of age romance story. And it's truly just a story about people finding love, and it's absolutely beautiful. There's also a beautiful episode where it kind of shows, like, intolerance is not acceptable here, and I'm going to support my friends. That was it was gorgeous to watch. If you are looking for a genuinely good boys love series that doesn't play on any of those yaoi tropes, I would highly recommend this series. It is gorgeously animated. It is a beautiful story. And if you're into dubs, it has a great cast because it's also David Matrongo, who's the voice of Todoroki, is the main guy. And then Austin Tyndall, who is the English voice actor for Kaneki and Tokyo Ghoul, and some other really great voice actors as well. So it's a great show. Go watch it, guys, and then talk to me about it because I'm really obsessed right now.
What platform?
I'm watching it on Verve, the High Dive channel,
Nice. Boundless Book Owl mentions, I have the art books for Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle. Yay! Add these to your collection if you're a Nausicaa fan. Going older Miyazaki films. Nice. And then right before we wrap up, I started watching Made in Abyss. I started watching the anime of it. So if you weren't able to catch the film, I do recommend the anime because then you get more time with it. They look cutesy, but there's some dark stuff that goes down. They look super cutesy wootsy, but they're supposed to be older than what they look like. To me, they look like they're in like 3rd grade, but they're supposed to be more like 12, like later middle school. So I'm like, okay. And there's just some more, not really gross adult subject matter, but stuff that's like not kiddie. And I was really liking it. I'm like episode 9 or 10. The new movie is having premieres at other anime conventions throughout the year, so check that out. And but I do recommend it. It's a really good like adventure show.
It's definitely on my list, and I get major Madoka Magica vibes from it, where it looks really cute, and then it all goes to
like there's some dark stuff on this. Yeah. That one I'm watching it on Amazon Prime. So yeah, if you are watching any really cool anime as well, please leave comments on what you're watching and where you can find it legally. Come on, we all know everybody does it other ways too. So then what else? Okay, cool. I guess really quick predictions, because I guess I can, and if we want to make other comments on the new one. Predictions? Nope. Yep, there's a noise. But anyway, I really like that you pointed out we might not meet all of the Zodiac in this season of the Fruits Basket, because I don't remember, so I'm excited to see as the new characters come out, and then I really am trying to rack my brain for what Akito is going to be. I still kind of think Toru won't be with anybody. It'll be one of those things where she doesn't end up with anybody in the family, but they all love her and she's like part of their family. And that's kind of it for that. Also,
I just want to say something. I kind of have a general idea of what happens, but I'm glad to rewatch it because there are obviously certain lines and kind of storylines that I completely missed when I was younger and didn't wrap my head around. So I'm very excited to rewatch it and kind of get a better sense of like, oh, that might be more powerful now.
Yes, good point. All right, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at ABTV Anime. We've been posting tons of DVD releases, spring anime announcements.
Spring anime!
Yeah, so if you're looking to like, what are some new ones coming out, go to ABTV Anime on Twitter. Also, we had like Anime Expo news on there. Like if you're interested in hosting a panel or things like that, go check it out. We link you. Don't worry, we got you covered. Veronica, where can they find you online?
Yeah, everyone, you can find me, Veronica Valencia, on Twitter and Instagram at It's Me, Veronica_V. Talk anime with me.
Yes, and thank you everybody who joined us in the live chat. If you're watching it later, we still love you. Please leave comments down below. Give the video a thumbs up, and if you're listening on iTunes, awesome. Give it 5 stars because 1 through 4 just don't work. And my name is Carrie Lane. You can find me online at Carrie D Lane. That's KARIDLANE. And thank you very much, Viz. We love all these volumes, and go check them out on Viz.com. Lots of tons of material just coming out. So again, follow us on Twitter so you can be up to date on everything and be back here because we talked about it here as well. All right, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week. Sayonara. Meow.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.